There is a language older than any human word. It was never written on paper, never carved into stone. It echoes through the air, ripples between the leaves, and spirals upward into the open sky. It is the song of birds, and since the beginning of time, they have crossed the heavens like messengers of a wisdom few have ever dared to understand. Close your eyes for just a moment. Picture the first light of dawn brushing the tops of the trees. Dew still sliding down the leaves, the air thick with the scent of wet earth and flowers that bloomed through the night. And then, before the light has even claimed the world, a voice breaks the silence. Small, precise, perfect. Today we're going on a journey together, through 5 of the most extraordinary creatures the Creator ever placed in the skies of this planet. Each one carries a story of beauty, resilience, and purpose that goes far beyond what our eyes can catch at first glance. Open your eyes a little wider, and open your heart, because what you're about to discover will change forever the way you look up at the sky. If Brazilian nature had a face, it would be his. The toco toucan is perhaps the most recognized bird in Brazil. And yet, the closer we get to him, the more we realize how little we truly know. That massive bill, orange like a Cerrado sunset, is not just a symbol of beauty. It is a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering, hollow and incredibly light on the inside, built with interlocking fibers like a Gothic cathedral in miniature. It works as a temperature regulator, a reaching tool, and a communication instrument among members of the flock. But what moves us most about the toco toucan is simply the way he exists in the world. He doesn't hunt in silence. He doesn't hide. He arrives announced, colorful, generous, unapologetic. And as he feeds on fruits and seeds, he scatters life wherever he goes, planting trees without ever having touched the ground. He is the gardener of the sky. A creature made not just to survive, but to sow. And in every fruit he consumes and carries away, the toco toucan writes another chapter in the endless story of the forest. But if the toucan is the gardener, the next bird we're about to meet is the artist, and his work will leave you completely speechless. Some birds exist to remind us that beauty doesn't need to be grand to be profound. The collared araucari is one of those creatures. A smaller cousin of the toucan, it carries on its body a combination of colors that looks as though it was painted by divine hands, with great delicacy and intention. Its bright yellow belly crossed by a dark band like an elegant necklace, its bill striped in green, black and red, its small and watchful eyes that seem to hold an ancient secret. modest in size but absolutely majestic in presence. The Arachari lives in small family groups, and that says everything about its nature. It is not a solitary creature. It understands that life is richer when it's shared. The groups sleep together inside tree hollows, nestled close to one another, an image of community and warmth that touches something deep inside us. During the day they move through the forest in a coordinated dance, communicating through soft calls, letting each other know where the best fruits are, where danger lurks, where the shade runs coolest. It is a small, quiet, and extraordinarily harmonious society. To watch a collared arachari perched on a branch is to understand that the Creator's work does not measure generosity by size. Sometimes, the greatest perfection comes in the smallest packages. And speaking of perfection, the next bird teaches us something about patience that few living creatures on this planet have ever truly mastered. There is a moment that repeats itself along rivers and lakes all over the world. A moment so fast it lasts less than a second, and yet so perfect it seems like it has been rehearsed for thousands of years. It is the dive of the kingfisher, with its metallic blue plumage that rivals the midday sky and its orange belly that calls to mind the reflection of fire on water. The kingfisher is one of the most photogenic birds on the planet. But behind that beauty lies an almost meditative discipline that invites us to slow down and simply watch. It can stay completely still for long minutes on a branch, or hovering in the air with supernatural precision, its eyes cutting through the surface of the water as though it were made of glass. It sees what we cannot. And when the right moment arrives, in a fraction of a second, it dives, catches, and returns to its perch as if time had never moved at all. The kingfisher teaches us that rushing is the enemy of precision, that patience is not stillness, it is preparation. It is trust in the right moment. It is the wisdom of those who know that the universe aligns itself for those who know how to wait. We are invited to learn from it. In a world that demands speed at every turn, the kingfisher hovers serenely above the water and reminds us that there is a right time for everything. And if the kingfisher teaches us about patience, the next bird teaches us about majesty. A presence so commanding, it seems to have stepped straight out of the pages of a legend. In the forests and savannas of Africa and Asia, there is a bird that seems to have been designed by a force that wasn't afraid to be bold. The hornbill is a creature of proportions that challenge our imagination and a presence that commands silent respect from everything around it. Its monumental bill, often crowned by a structure called a casque, that rises above it like a natural crown, is at once its working tool and its symbol of identity. Each species of hornbill carries a different bill, a unique signature from the Creator, that reminds us that in nature there are no copies. There is only originality. What moves us most about the hornbill is its nesting ritual. When breeding season arrives, the female enters a tree hollow and the pair seals the entrance with mud, leaving only a small opening. She remains confined inside for weeks, completely dependent on the male, who returns to feed her every single day without fail. It is an act of absolute faith. On one side, a total and courageous surrender. On the other, an unwavering devotion. Together, they bring life into that dark hollow, sheltered and warmed by love and mutual trust. To watch a hornbill flying over the African forest canopy, its massive bill cutting through the air and its wings producing that deep rhythmic sound, is to witness one of the most majestic spectacles that creation has to offer. How can something so small contain so much life? The tufted coquette is one of the most beautiful questions nature has ever posed to humanity. With its purple crest that shimmers like a living jewel depending on the angle of the light, and its tiny body trembling in the air like an open flame, it is the ultimate symbol that greatness has absolutely nothing to do with size. It beats its wings up to 80 times per second. Its heart pulses more than 1/200 times per minute. It is pure energy compressed into a form our eyes can barely hold before it vanishes. And yet, in the middle of all that speed, it lands on a flower with absolute gentleness, as if the entire world had paused just to receive it. The hummingbird and the flower share one of the oldest love stories in nature. It needs the nectar to survive. The flower needs the pollen it carries to reproduce. Neither one exists fully without the other. It is a partnership woven across millions of years, a sacred contract between two forms of life that found in mutual dependence the key to their own permanence. We are called to contemplate that gesture. Every time a hummingbird visits a flower, it is fulfilling a purpose far greater than its own hunger. It is keeping alive a link in the chain of creation that, if broken, would change the world forever. At the end of this journey through the skies of the world, we are returned to the ground, carrying something we didn't have before: a wider gaze, a deeper gratitude, an awareness that we share this planet with beings of such beauty and wisdom that they should move us to humility every single day. The toucan that seeds the forest, the aratari that teaches us about community, the kingfisher that invites us into patience, the hornbill that shows us the power of surrender and faithfulness, the hummingbird that reminds us that greatness has no size. Each one of these birds is a chapter in a book the Creator wrote with infinite care and generosity, a book left open for all of us, every day, in every sky, in every forest, along every riverbank where a wing beats and a voice rises into song. We must be the guardians of this legacy, not out of obligation, but out of gratitude. Because a world where these creatures exist is a world richer, more beautiful, and more full of meaning than any of us could have ever imagined on our own. May we always lift our eyes to the sky, and may the sky always have a wing ready to answer back. 'Cause